Hello everyone. Sometimes you really want to give freedom of action and wander through the secret nooks and crannies of a huge open world. If so, then sit down comfortably and let's see what 2022 to 2023 has prepared for us. Also, if this is your first time on our channel and you really liked our selection, then subscribe, press your finger up and enjoy. Go. Atomic Heart. Atomic Heart is an adventure first-person shooter game with RPG elements. The game Atomic Heart, from the Russian studio Mundfish, which moved to Poland, was based on Unreal Engine 4. The game takes place in an alternative USSR, where industrial robots suddenly rebelled in one of the secret factories and started killing people. You will play as a KGB major with the call sign P3, who needs to eliminate the consequences of a large-scale accident. The scene is the Laboratory 3826, the objects of which are located throughout the map. Among the locations there are many interesting things, from the Arctic to the Altai Mountains. Despite the fact that in the trailers the main character is constantly fighting with someone, Atomic Heart should not be classified as an action RPG or pumping shooters. The brainchild of Mundfish is a complete immersive sim. As you know, the genre is characterized by an emphasis on the study of the world and a variety of ways and means of completing tasks. The locations of Atomic Heart are imbued with the same Soviet setting. The motherland rises somewhere in the distance, the walls are dotted with red stars and coats of arms, and among the enemies are crazy nesting dolls. The hero will even replenish his health with a greedy sip of boiled condensed milk. It is also known that the hand of a brave agent can master cool tricks. But just like that, you won't be able to defeat everyone. The developers say that even one enemy can become a serious obstacle, and it's better to run from several, and, hiding, think over a plan. So mechanized enemies can be disabled by stealth sneaking up from behind. But there will also be terrible mutants on the way, which, most likely, you won't take with such a technique. Seeing the death screen with the funny inscription "dead" will have to be seen quite often.
Become a part of the collective and acquire true superpowers.
Hey soldier, wake up. You okay?
I'm okay.
Get up.
Want to learn Chinese in 5 minutes? Or maybe get a PhD in quantum physics in just 1 hour? With the launch of the Collective 2.0, all this knowledge will be available to anyone!
The game is being developed for the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S platforms. The game will be released at the end of 2022, but the Polish portal xgp.pl has information about the possible transfer of the Atomic Heart action. The game is said to be released in the first quarter of 2023.
Seconds, let's go.
30 seconds to what?
And then it's total Biap his dad, son. That's what.
Dying Light 2.
Your feet in the air and your head on the cloud.
Hurry up! Oh my god!
Dying Light 2 is the second part of the popular zombie parkour action game, which takes place in a completely different part of the world. Players are waiting for the increased scale and density of events, even more zombies, as well as co-op and many other things.
What the? Shit! You bastard!
One of the key features of the sequel is the variability of the decisions made, as well as the change in the game world, as a consequence of the decisions of the players. For example, you can complete a quest for one of the factions, and its strength in the game world will increase. Also, each decision slightly changes the city in which the events unfold, which allows each player to get a unique gaming experience. The game takes place 15 years after the first outbreak of the virus. Over the years, humanity has strongly rolled back in development, electricity has become a huge value, and countries have sunk into anarchy and lawlessness. The script of the game is handled by one of the most famous screenwriters, Chris Avellone, who had a hand in Fallout 2, Planescape, Torment, Divinity, Original Sin 2 and others. The plot in Dying Light 2 matches the surrounding world, gloomy and cruel, provoking players to make a choice, not between good and bad actions, but between bad and disgusting. Released February 4, 2022, PC, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4's Xbox Series X, Xbox One. Horizon Forbidden West. Like the previous game, Horizon Forbidden West is an action RPG with a third-person perspective. The game has largely identical gameplay to Horizon Zero Dawn. The player controls a young huntress named Aloy in a post-apocalyptic open world inhabited by mechanical beasts called machines. Along with the story missions, there are many side quests, and Aloy can explore the game world in isolation from the story missions. There is a dynamic change of weather, day, and night. To hunt cars, animals, as well as against hostile people, Aloy uses a variety of weapons. For example, she can set traps, stretch mines using a special thread thrower device, shoot from a bow, and throw bombs from a sling. Added new types of weapons that have no direct analogs in reality. Forbidden West takes place 6 months after the events of Zero Dawn. Aloy travels to the west of the continent following the mysterious red disease. The heroine will have to stop a new attack before she makes the world uninhabitable. Aloy is no longer an outcast of the Nora tribe and does not experience neglect. She is treated as a savior and heroine. This puts a lot of pressure on the girl and imposes a huge responsibility to friends and fellow tribesmen. In the sequel, the skill tree was reworked. Now it has 6 categories such as a warrior, melee, trapper, traps, hunter, ranged, and scout, stealth. Each specialization includes 20 to 30 skills. They can be combined in any way. Separately, the possibility of strengthening the equipment of Aloy is noted. With the right combination, the characteristics of the equipment can be increased by 300%. And of course, all this in a huge and very dangerous world that you can study for hours.
Yep, another one. I need to get clear. That was close. I can't shake him.
Released February 18, 2022, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4.
Maybe I can lose him in here. These guys won't give up.
Plan 8. MMO shooter with exoskeletons from one of the creators of Counter-Strike Ming Lee. The game is made in the setting of a post-apocalypse with futuristic devices that modify the character. Also, players will have access to unique abilities of heroes. According to the assurances of the developers, in the game will be various elements of the MMO. The plot based on the words of the developers, they want to make a well-developed history of the world, but first of all, it will reveal to the players why the game has such an unusual name. It seems like it is connected with a certain mysterious incident. Again, from the trailer, we can conclude that the plot will be presented in the form of various cinematic inserts in the spirit of one-user games. The plot based on the words of the developers, they want to make a well-developed history of the world, but first of all, it will reveal to the players why the game has such an unusual name. It seems like it is connected with a certain mysterious incident. Again, from the trailer, we can conclude that the plot will be presented in the form of various cinematic inserts in the spirit of one-user games. Now let's go directly to the gameplay, about which, to be honest, only two things are known: the presence of various modern weapons and the use of exoskeletons. In the trailer, you can see that weapons include automatic rifles, sniper rifles, a bow, and at one moment the character killed the enemy, a huge futuristic bat, which most likely hints at the presence of a melee system. In general, there is not much information about this game, which is not surprising. Test Drive, Unlimited Solar Crown. Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown is the next installment in the Test Drive Unlimited series, planned for PC and consoles. The novelty will be able to please players with real, licensed cars, most of which are luxury items. Among them, you can find Ferrari, Lamborghini, Bugatti and other brands of cars. The gameplay of the game will resemble the Solar Crown Championship from the previous part, which, according to the developers, will give more variety of opportunities and freedom to play the game, but at the same time, the Test Drive Unlimited DNA will remain in it. As for physics and graphics, the authors rely on the WRC series. As it became known, the events of Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown will unfold in Hong Kong on a scale of 1:1. The plot will focus on the confrontation between two warring clans, Streets and Sharps. An exciting network race awaits us, with many players on a large map. You can develop your character in two ways: make him law-abiding or a bully. As for the open world, the developers of Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown promise the stone jungle of Hong Kong with skyscrapers and luxury cars, as well as forests, beaches and other natural objects. The race will offer complete freedom of action as in the previous parts of the series, an advanced engine, asphalt simulation, and so on. The main thing is that gasoline does not rise in price. God of War Ragnarok. The plot will still focus on Kratos and his son Atreus. Atreus has already managed to grow up and become a strong teenager. The main theme of the sequel will be Ragnarok, the end of the world in Norse mythology. In the first part, the events unfolded in the mountainous snowy terrain of Scandinavia, where the local gods do not like strangers.
Ragnarok. War is coming. My story doesn't end hiding in these woods. I should be out there, finding out who I am, who Loki is.
I will not allow you to pick a fight with gods.
I don't want to fight anyone. I just want answers.
And if those answers lead to war with Asgard?
At the same time, Kratos teaches the boy not to be a boy, but a warrior incapable of showing pity and compassion. They have to get out of Scandinavia, where along the way they will meet not only enemies, but also all sorts of allies. During the passage, players will visit all 9 worlds, including Svartalfheim, Vanaheim and Asgard from the first part. Well, the main villains will be the goddess of love Freya and the god of thunder Thor.
Person.
You will find more exciting cinematic battles, unexpected plot twists, the most disgusting monsters, as well as we will meet our favorite characters and the harsh veil of Scandinavian mythology. To be honest, although the game does not have a full-fledged open world, it has large levels, and it would be a crime not to add this game. Looking forward to November 9th of this year.
Are you coming with us?
The day before. The Day Before is a massive survival MMO shooter set in a post-pandemic world. You have to become one of the survivors in America, overrun by hungry zombies and ruthless bandits. As you travel around the country, you will search shops and skyscrapers for resources and interact with other people. Also in the game there is a camp of survivors, which serves as a hub location. In the game, you have to kill crowds of infected from the most diverse and realistic types of weapons. In addition to the infected, you will meet other players who will get in your way. It is logical that PvP will be in the game. You have to take part in the restoration of society. In the so-called hub locations, you can sell loot and spend time with other players safely. In general, you will not have an easy journey where you can find answers to questions. The Day Before is translated to Unreal Engine 5. The game will be released on March 1, 2023. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora is an upcoming first-person open-world action-adventure game. The game takes place on the planet Pandora, which was first shown in the original Avatar movie by James Cameron. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora is being developed on the Snowdrop engine originally created for the Division series. The Avatar game will tell a new story, not be based on the movie. The main character will be a representative of the Na'vi race, who will go to explore the western lands of Pandora. Ubisoft promises that the game will have a large and living world that changes depending on the actions of the player. Avatar will feature unique monsters, new characters, and Oda Corporation soldiers will act as the main opponents. Also, Ubisoft mentioned the postponement of the release of Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. Now the game will be released no earlier than April 2023 on PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS. Let's hope we can play it next year. If you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel, it will help us a lot, and also write in the comments your expected games 2022-2023, and the games you would like to see in the next release. Thank you all, goodbye.